Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut. We have ourselves a match that is going to proc right there, finally. Welcome on in, everybody, to our Tomb of the Spider Queen game. On the left-hand side, we have the members of DeathWeb, and on the right is going to be Amateur Opponent. This is going to be a Division B Southwest game. They have so many Division Bs that they have to split them into quadrants at this point. So, Decker Kane and Maev will be banned out here when it comes to heroes, but I'm sure you're sitting at home wondering how we actually got to Tomb of the Spider Queen, so let me get you caught up on that information. The home team this evening is going to be the members of DeathWeb. They lost the coin flip. The members of Amateur Opponents opted for first pick priority, and they're going to ban out Battlefield of Eternity and Hanamura Temple. Towers of Doom and Volskaya Foundry were banned out by the members of DeathWeb, meaning they also had the map choice, so they're going to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. That is going to be map number 1 for us. Did I have this correct? Yes, I did. Okay, I thought I had that backwards. Either way, let's get back into our draft and see what we have unfolding as a diva will be removed. She is playable now in NGS as well as Gazlo. There's a 2-week period in which reworked heroes aren't able to be played, which is surprising because like Chromie should just be permabanned then because she's always having reworks in this game. But either way, Diva is notably very strong in some of the in-houses we've been seeing. There's a really great clip from Sunday when Crone and I were casting of I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the in-house games. It was the last one, I think, and it was just like a diva that literally just went to core and ended game. So, a little on that strong side. Let's see, Red Bull. Oh my god, I'm like a little jittery. Like I tried to have it long enough before stream where like I wouldn't be at the peak of my hyper. We'll see. I also forgot to get water. My brain's all scattered, so I think it's doing what it should for my brain and waking me up, but I'm also like massively hyperactive. Either way, Tassadar and Cassia to be grabbed here on the left-hand side. Really good wave clear coming out from them. Specifically the Tassadar with the Sonic Storm as well as their Shock Ray, but Cassia has some dive. The Fend potential does give you a little wave clear as well, and you also just have overall dive into the enemy team, but you are going to be having some blinds from Joanna that might make things a little difficult. Then you also have the blinds of your own to answer into that. Anduin will be grabbed here with an Orphea as well. I like the Orphea actually a lot here. Gives them wave clear, gives them poke potential, mobility, and they can also play off of Anduin's like chastise and stuff like that. So I like this. You can go like Crushing Jaws, Light Bomb too. That'd be a really good duo. Hey Zorils, how you doing, bud? Cassadar? How are you doing, everybody? How's Chaz doing? Day, good to see you in chat as well. Hyperactive, ludicrous speed. There's no downshifting. They've gone plaid. I don't know, sorry, if anyone's ever seen Spaceballs. Whenever like ludicrous speed is mentioned, just it's Spaceballs. Easy enough. That will be a Sylvanas being banned out, as that would offer some more push potential with the Webweaver phase, as well as just the overall more mobility and dive, but also just their wave clear isn't the quickest, but just the empowerment of the wave clear, I think is a good way to put it, is something that they need to be conscious of. ETC will be banned out on the right-hand side, as the opposing team did need a main tank. Makes sense. ETC would have set up a lot for them. Shock Ray value off of the power slides would be great. Cassie can dive in with Fend. Mosh Pit plus Ball Lightning is really annoying. Even like a Valkyrie into a Mosh Pit for single target pickoffs is a great pickup. And then you have Encore at level 13 to be able to get cooldown reduction by 7.2 seconds every single time you hit a hero with Face Melt or the little loudspeaker. Next few picks though, they're going to go into their healer as well as their Anubrek, their main tank. This is actually going to be Sally Thymane coming in with an Anubrek, so they've got some dive, but they've also got some CC with this Anubrek as well, so they can kind of play this defensively. Let's say the backline's getting dove by Orphea and Whitemane needs to get out of there. Well, Anubrek can burrow from what would be essentially the front of the fight backwards, and then they should be able to get back there and help out the Whitemane who might be getting dove. Now, they need a little extra dive with this. I like the idea of a Greymane here. Ooh, actually, they're going to go for Raynor for more sustained damage, and they're going to go for a Chen. Please go Wandering Keg. I am begging you, Chen. Please. Left-hand side, last pick is going to be a solo laner into this Chen. Malthael could be a good pickup. Urel would actually be a little annoying as well. Rexar could be a possibility. It's just what the player wants to play. I mean, Leoric would actually be synergistic and great, but they're going to go for a Sonya. I like this too. This gives them leap potential if they want to go for it. I personally, I'm a fan of leap, so I say go for leap 100% here, but either way. Hey Baha, don't know if you're aware, but the category says art. Does it still say art? I hit update 3 times. Thank you. I don't know, like, OBS to Twitch updating sometimes doesn't work, so thank you for catching that. Thank you, John. I don't know why it didn't go. I pushed it 4 or 5 times. I should have checked it. Either way, thank you for that information. Hots makes the prettiest pictures. My friends were actually commenting because they don't like watch Twitch or anything like that, so they were commenting because they watched the Bob Ross stream, and they were just like, it's so great that you can play art, and I was like, yeah, that is actually a little funny. But either way, we have our draft for our first game here. We're gonna go into Tomb of Spider Queen. Trainwreck, how you doing, bud? Also, you'll see the sub goals. We have November Baja Ross. I'm just gonna do every 50. We'll just do a Baja Ross stream. So we already have October. October is going to be October 18th, which will be a Sunday because we don't have CCL that Sunday because the draft show is on the 17th. So there's no CCL that following day. So I think that'll be a perfect day to do a Baja Ross stream. And we'll do that in October on the 18th, which is a Sunday, and we'll try and do it a little bit earlier in the day so that way the European friends can watch, as well as it's going to be a little bit beneficial for the for our East Coast friends. But Baja Ross aside, let's get into some Heroes of the Storm. On the left-hand side, we got the members of DeathWeb. We'll be seeing Trickshot on the Anubarak. Tops is going to be on the Sonya. Malflon, I think, is going to be on the... what were you blending in on the Cassia, and Joko will be on that Tassadar, and we have Mafia, or USA Mafia, on that White Mane. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Amateur Opponents. Butte Holiday is going to be on the Anduin. Sonic's Bro will be on the Orphe. Terminator is going to be on the Chen. We've got Cactus Ham playing the Rainer, and E-Day 15 will be on that Joanna. Peek at our level 1s and see what our first potential engagement will be looking like here, as this is just going to be everyone mashing faces for a quick second. Joko taking a lot of damage. That's going to be the chastise connecting, and they will go down. Cactus Ham going to continue to throw in some pepper, but they're not going to find a secondary kill, and this will just be the rotations into our standard lanes. Bottom lane on Tomb of the Spider Queen is typically our solo, which is why we're seeing Sonya and Chen go down here, and we have our core 4 from both sides doing rotations from top to mid. The reason they're doing this is so that way they can pick up gems and have enough for the turn-in. In the bottom right, you can see that there are 50 gems necessary for this turn-in. For every turn-in that a team gets, the subsequent turn-in goes up by 5. So after blue team or red team gets their first turn-in, both of them, or whoever gets the first one, is going to have 55 as the next total turn-in. And it's independent per team. It's not like one team has 55 and then the next one has like 60 all of a sudden. It's dependent per team, or I guess independent per team. I think that's the better way to say it. Leap of Faith will save the Orphea, but it's not enough damage to find the kill. Mafia throws some damage onto this Joanna as they're going to rotate back into top lane, and Tops will kind of control this bottom, and Chen just going to kick through to be able to get their gems on the far side of this. As Sonya will throw some damage in, will use the spear into them. And you know what? I wasn't thinking about this. The I think it's Ancient Spear? I think it's the Ancient Spear. I might be wrong on that. It might be Mythical Spear. Ancient Spear, either way. The Ancient Spear is actually a good pickup. It was a smart call to go for the Sonya, because Chen will want to sit there and drink into the Sonya, and she can sit there and hit them with the Ancient Spear. Unfortunately, the Rainer was below us the entire time, and they pop up while Sonya was sitting in lane after Chen got a little bit of damage, and this is going to be Cactus Ham solidifying the kill with the help of Terminator. Or vice versa. Either way, we are going to be seeing our rotations continue between top and mid. Joko making sure they're going to catch this wave in front of the gate, and they're a little bit behind on these rotations. Same can be said on the right-hand side. They might miss out on some of this experience. As you can see, those little orbs going away. That was one of our Nexus anomalies from, I believe that was last year's BlizzCon? Yes, yeah, last year's BlizzCon. That was when they introduced the oh my god, the shock ray. I thought they were able to dodge the Cassia lightning strike, and they did. But the shock ray out of nowhere from Joko, very well played. Chen really wasn't ready for that one, but I don't know if Joko's ready for the rotation coming out from this enemy team. They're going to dive into the bush, try and double back through. Mafia's got some healing out onto them. Blinds out from Cassia will buy them some extra room and time, and they'll be able to get back out of there, and they won't get picked off. Very well played from Joko with the double back in the bush to juke the enemy team, as they weren't really probably expecting to see that Tassadar come back into their faces when they were trying to mount up maybe and chase into them. Just little things like that. Very, very well played. We are going to continue to, though, see solo lane be solo lane, and we will have our core 4 rotations continuing. Actually, a break off at this point, is there is going to be a split for these camps, and the reason we're seeing them split off for the camps now rather than earlier for like we saw the Siege Giants is because of the fact that the turn-in potential is coming through. So what I've seen a lot of teams do early on in this game is they actually utilize the Bruiser camp for the mid lane, and then they push hard through mid lane for the first objective phase, and then they focus on the top lane a little bit later. His trick shot is unfortunately gonna not be able to get out of there, and they will get picked off. That'll be a kill for the side of amateur opponents, and they're stacking up for their turn, and they don't go for their own Bruiser camp, but maybe they're holding for that. I'm waiting to see actually who's got the gems. Let's take a peek. They only need 7, and that could just be Joanna, and she actually is going to go for that turn right now. So E-Day has this, and that will be first Webweaver phase in favor for our red team. They're going to be able to clear this camp, and this is them probably going to be able to clear this out, rotate to top, and then hard push up there. The reason I was talking about this camp pressure, and I might have got off track from it, but what I've seen some teams do is they utilize this camp plus the Webweaver because it's an easy grab. You can kind of sync them up fairly easy. You get spell armor from the mage, and then you also have some extra units in lane to siege. Works out pretty well for you. This also could have been defensive, but I got cleared out, and let's see how the lanes shape up. So solo lane still just being solo lane. Tops is trying to play into Terminator. They are going to be that whirlwind build at level 4 and 7. At 7, it's going to give them the life funnel, which is going to increase the healing from their whirlwind. Level 4 is going to basically be a self-cleanse with the whirlwind from roots and slows, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So basically, it kind of a self-cleanse. I mean, you can't get rid of stuns or anything, but you do have that opportunity to kind of get out of some sort of slow, maybe from Whitemane, or even I'm trying to think of a route that would be coming out from the enemy team. Whitemane actually can pick up some talents and actually make a route happen with her. I can't remember the name of her W. It's basically the little X on the ground. Actually, we just saw it right there. Chen's gonna try and double back, but it won't work out for them. Joko, they're just trying to take a page out of Joko's book. Also, really well played from the Tassadar right there. They threw that force wall in front of Anduin just in case Anduin tried to step out and pick up the gems that were dropped. And it just little things like that actually are big wins for your team. Nice shield glare just to stall things out. Will give some time for Chen to respawn. They also got their camp out into lane, so this way the Webweaver has to push up against this. And this timing on this camp will work out a little bit better for amateur opponents. It's still going to be cleared out by the enemy team, but they're able to push up with this, meaning the Webweaver, at least for mid lane, will be descending further back in the lane. Bottom lane looks like Sonya pushed up a little bit, and top lane, at least on the minimap, seems like it will be crashing midway into that lane. So pretty even across the board, but this mid lane pushback will be pretty beneficial. Sonya with the Ancient Spear through the sidewall, going on to Cactus Ham, getting some slams on the ground as well. E-Day doing their best to slow down the enemy team from advancing into the friendly backline, and they've managed to hold them off for now. Let's go ahead and cycle through the other numbers while we still have our Webweaver phase up and available. Orphea, I think, was considering going to top lane. They need to make something happen here on the side of amateur opponents. I think they're kind of hanging out here a little too long, as they're going to dive in with the Anubrak. There's going to be Gladiator's Medallion, and they still get picked off. Anduin to go down, and that will be another kill in favor for the side of DeathWeb. And they are going to be approaching their 10 talents here, albeit close to the enemy team, but a little bit sooner. Do we have anything? We do have Leap from Sonya. We'll see if I was just like, does Sonya leap in bottom lane? What are you going to do? I know Terminator's way too healthy for them to even consider it. As a Leap Sonya main myself. The Webweaver in top lane will continue pushing on up. This is going to be a web wrap onto the Orphea, and I think this is mostly just to slow her down from putting some pressure onto the enemy team, but it also set them up with a black hole in, oh my god, so well played right there from the members of DeathWeb, and they're going to be able to push this Webweaver through a fort, and they're going to get a little bit of siege onto this keep front gate. Looking at bottom lane right now, Sleep is up in a bit. Okay. I see a slightly low health pool Chen. I'm just like, just be aggressive. Just mash that R. It's only, what, 60 seconds of a cooldown? Hey, Goon. Hey, Zool. Debating on if I work on my factory in Factorio. Flip a coin. That's honest to God what I do when I can't decide if I want to play a game or not. That's a Gladiator's Medallion on Trick Shot. There's going to be a Storm Earth and Fire from Chen. They're going to turn on to Whitemane. Mafia is going to go down right there as Joko's doing their best to throw as much damage out as possible. They are not Archon, as they already used the Black Hole to solidify the kill on the the Orphea earlier. But they're going to lose 2. And this looks like it could be Web Weaver phase for the members of our red team. Unfortunately, they are going to be about 13 gems short of a turn-in, and by that time, everyone will be backing up and available. And I wouldn't be too surprised if the members of DeathWeb were able to find their last little bit of a turn. Actually, Sonya, who's got the last little gems? Is it just Joko? Yeah, Joko can just get the rotation, and that'll be easy enough. Cactus Sam did sneak down here, and we'll go ahead and be able to grab Siege Giants uncontested, because I think the members of DeathWeb were really focused on getting this Web Weaver turn in. Yeah, they'll zone them back, and I think this is just going to be the turn in here. Mafia trying to chase down Orphea. Not going to find anything with that one, though. Siege Giants slid through bottom lane, and Sonya will clear this out. This is looking... It's looking pretty good for both teams still, honestly. I don't think one team has a massive advantage over the other. Some of the later game team fights are starting to go in favor of DeathWeb, but I'm not counting amateur opponents out whatsoever. 13 talent tier is a big thing. I don't think we've seen like a full fight either. I feel like a lot of the fights have been split, or maybe even just like these dive picks, and we might not see a full 5v5, and they might just go for single target dive picks, and that's how they just win the game. I mean, it's Tomb of the Spider Queen. A single pick can really do a lot for a team and really kind of turtle them up, especially if they're about to fall behind in experience. The members of our red team are grabbing a lot of experience around the map, as they are going to be able to clear out mid lane, save their fort. They're going to have Raynor and Orphea and top clear that out, and now hearthing out actually out of lane before it even goes down, because it's naturally going to decay. They have this very healthy Web Weaver in bottom lane that they need to get rid of, as this is a Johanna looking for a flank. Pops the Iron Skin, will be able to back out. This is the Cassia, though, zoning them back right now. This is a subdue just to slow them down. Trickshot was just waiting in the bush the entire time, because they're not going to do much into this Johanna, as there's an Eternal Feast, a Light Bomb, everything is coming out. Anubrak's going to dive in. That's a Shockray from Tassadar. Whitemane goes down first here. That's a Tassadar going down, Cassia going down as well. It's an absolute bloodbath, as we do have the Stormwrath and Fire Chen going back to its full shape as they kick on to the Sonya, who does go down. Web Weaver in bottom lane does go down as well. Top lane's got a decent wave already stacked up, and this is looking like they're going to be able to push out the waves, go for a turn-in, and they could actually go for boss. Oh, it's way too close for boss turn-in. I think they just go straight turn-in. Anduin's going to tag the boss here. This is risky, because here's what's happening right now. Anduin's going to tag the boss. This camp over here, once they fully turn in, this camp will disappear. On the minimap, this camp will still be up and available, and they're going to be... Yeah, so you can see right now on the minimap, they know that they're on boss. Trickshot's already calling for it, and they're going to start invading onto this. They're very low on the... They haven't dealt much damage into this boss phase just yet, and they actually back off. That's going to be a Chastise. The blow up onto a Nubrak, who overstepped and maybe overstayed, as that's a Gladiator's Medallion from Joko trying to back out of here. Getting very low. Orphea steps up and finds the last little bit of damage. Ball Lightning bounces from player to player on the enemy team, but it's not enough to threaten a kill as they continue to chase in. There's going to be this very low Cassia, who's going to tap well and still goes down. I think Tops used the leap to get out of there, and now Web Weaver phase coming through. The boss was leashed, so that means it does just go back into its hole for now, and it will come back out once the Web Weaver phase is gone. Until then, they're going to continue to siege through on the side of amateur opponents, and this is what I was saying. I didn't think this game was one way or the other. We hadn't seen a big fight yet, and we just saw one, and that was amateur opponents really taking it to the face of DeathWeb. With this, they'll also be able to hit 16 talent tier fairly soon, actually within this minion wave, and maybe just a little bit of this front gate as well. Yeah, they need a little bit more experience. Sonya is showing in the bottom lane, so they do see that on the minimap. This is actually the vision of the red team really quickly, and Sonya just now disappearing from that bottom lane. They have to be cautious of that, as that will be a web wrap onto a Chen. The Stormwrath and Fire is up and available. As long as they don't get chain CC'd through the spell cast out or the channel of it, they'll be fine. They are taking this long rotation out, but this is 14 to 16. They need to be careful here, because the enemy team could turn in. They're going to go ahead and drop a Blessed Shield. There's going to be the Eternal Feast. The Anubrak goes down first, and this is a Cassia who finds some damage into Raynor, trading out the Assassin for Assassin. Chen going to kick over and jump on to Mouflon, and they're getting so low, but the blinds are working out for them, and they're actually going to start to turn it back around the enemy team. Terminator so very low. They get back into their main form, but Cassia finds the Ancient Spear. There's the Leap of Faith from Anduin to keep them alive. Sonya just spinning to win as Terminator kicked back into this. Used some stagger damage. Going to try and drink through the pain, but Chen, you overextended, bud, and they're going to go down, dropping a few gems. gems. This did buy some time for bottom lane to push out because the Web Weaver was stacked up with some minions as well as some monsters that it does spawn. So this will supply at least some decent siege into bottom lane, but with a couple counter kills in that top lane fight, this is going to push them into 16 talent tier on both sides. And I gotta say, this is a very, very good game number 1 for us. I hope we can go to a game 3 between these two teams because this is already exciting. Who's ready for exhibition matches this weekend? Honest to God, it's all I think about. Sonya gonna grab camp for bottom lane. Both teams are, you know what, they're not too far away on the right-hand side for amateur opponents for their turn-in, so we could be seeing that fairly soon. They need, what, 4 waves, I believe? 4 times 3 is 12? Yes, that sounds about right when I'm doing the caster math. Bottom lane's gonna get pushed out a little bit with these Siege Giants from the side of DeathWeb. We do have our Cassie in mid lane. Nubrek, I don't know if they're showing in bottom right now. E-Day is going to step into them, but they're just going to back off as they'll clear out this wave over here. Just want to quickly jump onto the vision so they can see what they're... So we can see what they're seeing. Easy enough. I think they know that the enemy team's just below them, so they're going to try and play around that. They actually have Chen diving onto Trickshot, who's going to get hit with a blessed shield. They're saying, I know you're the main tank, but we'll just dump damage into you, and it's a 60-second cooldown, but you still have got a kill, and that's going to be 45 seconds onto them, as that is a Orphea finding an Eternal Feast and just chomping down the Cassia. Mafia takes a bit of damage, and with the couple kills they got, they actually found some more gems, and they're going to go for a turn in here, and this will be a Web Weaver phase in favor. No, it's not. It's Orphea, isn't it? Oh no, Joanna left! E-Day just like autopiloted into the mid lane or something. I don't know. Maybe they're actually waiting a couple seconds for Orphea to clear out bottom so the Web Weavers descend further out, because they would get pushed back quite a bit if they did spawn while those Siege Giants were there. So maybe they purposely did it, but either way, we do have our Orphea in bottom lane clearing things out still. They're playing around the vision, I believe. Yeah, they're trying to play just out of vision of tops, which is not easy to do. They're trying to avoid this over here. Like, Top's actually stepped a little far out, so they know that they're hanging around this top lane. Joko uses the Shock Ray just to be able to scout out inside that bush, or at least just on the far side of it if they can make this rotation into top lane. 20 talent tier, barely close in favor for the side of amateur opponents. Can they get this? Can they get this? Can they get more than just a front gate? Bottom lane is pushed back a little bit, but these are later game Web Weavers, and they are gonna hit pretty hard. We're at 15 minutes into our first game of our first best of 3 of the evening. And we'll see here what can happen with our Web Weaver push on the side of amateur opponents. I believe this is their third of the game, because I believe they had to get 60 gems total turn in. So top lane got cleared out. They're going to wait for the enemy team to rotate out of the top defense and see them in that mid lane, and they're like, cool, we're gonna go top lane keep. The reason they're focusing top lane keep is obviously they have a path for it. They're all here, they've got a wave, but the other factor too is this is boss lane, so they can pick up boss later on. Leap coming out, that's a leap of fate to save them. That's a black hole from the Tassadar. Iron Skin to be used, that's gonna save Joanna as they pop a light bomb into the back line, or at least into the front line that's on top of them. Sonya will go down, Orphea to be traded out. Chen was web wrap for the majority of that, gonna go ahead and dive on into this back line, taking a lot of stagger damage. I believe they popped their Gladiator's medallion so that way they couldn't get stunned out of their channel for the Storm, Earth, and Fire. I do believe that Storm, Earth, and Fire channel time is a little bit longer, but still, it's just in the initial stun they missed right there, or at least got rid of it. Glyph of Faith was picked up by Butte because we just saw another leap, and they don't get the keep. They actually do get mid lane and bottom lane, so overall, they lose 1, and they still get a keep. Actually, no, excuse me, they trade 1, they get double keep, and now they're going to go for boss, which...
Exceptionally done, healer.
It's not a bad call by any means. I'm wondering if the enemy team could invade onto this or if they will. Right now, we have their vision. We know that they won't. We know that they actually can turn in. Both teams actually know this, so they're going to go ahead and do exactly that. They haven't shown in a little bit, so the members of our amateur opponents might be a little on the worried side, but they'll be able to grab boss. This will go straight to that keep. But now they have to defend against a Web Weaver phase, 17 minutes coming in through all 3 lanes. Luckily for them, on the side of amateur opponents, the lanes are pushed back a little bit. But we just saw, like, bottom lane was pretty much, I think, went down just to the actual Nexus Forces defenses, and that, like, didn't really, or excuse me, that still got to keep, so, and that Web Weaver, like, spawned here-ish, just either way. They're actually going to step into top lane with boss. Amateur opponents taking a very risky play right now. If they wipe here, this is Web Weaver at least through mid lane that I would think that mid lane Webweaver could end game if this doesn't go their way, and let's see what happens. Joanna's going to get web wrapped real quick. There's a leap from Sonya into the backline. They find the burst onto Anduin. That's actually massive for them. That pushes them into 20. There's going to be the, oh my god, no, Tops ends up going down, so they end up trading out Anduin for Sonya. Nubrak's going to burrow charge away. Mafia's so low, will go down. Boss is cleared out. The core is still shielded. They're going to stick around here right now. Mouflon is so very low, won't go down. It's Malflin. Oh my god, Joanna goes down. That's a 2 for 2. Webweaver and mid still sieging in. They're chasing this top lane though. Trick shot's gonna burrow charge into them. There's a chomp that doesn't connect, but they turn around and actually get the counter kill in this chase. And now, I'm just saying this, Terminator, if you had Wandering Keg, you could have just bopped him back in. Gonna go into Storm, Earth, and Fire. I believe they are Elemental Conduit. No, they're actually the Purifying Brew at level 20. Nice Black Hole from Tassadar to push them back, and they'll actually lose the Rainer because of the upgrade at level 20 with the Blitz, we're gonna say. That word I'm not gonna say right, and it does spawn Psionic Storms in its path, so that killed the Rainer. They're nailing their wombos. These, like, this game is so good right now. I am absolutely adoring this Tomb of the Spider Queen's opening game for us. So camp to be grabbed for the right-hand side. Turn availability is nowhere near for either team. 65 is what they need. Let's go ahead and cycle through those other numbers once again because we haven't looked at those in quite some time. It's 10 to 20 in our kill count and 21 to 22 in our levels. I'm looking at minimap. Is it going to be a fight over Siege Giants right now? I think it's going to be a fight over Siege Giants is what I'm... It's the only map that's off cooldown. I think I said map. I meant camp. No, they're just gonna check it. So I'm mostly watching minimap just to see what the red positioning is. This is a little wild. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, Kaleo. All right, Goon. All right, Goon. Come on now, bud. How you doing, Kaleo? By the way, feel free to post that Twitter thing that you made. That was absolutely brilliant. That was really, really well done. So, 21 to 22. We are 20 minutes into our first game in our Tomb of the Spider Queen game as the camp for mid lane will be cleared out, as it did kind of just get close enough and they're more comfortable with it being closer to their core or their Hall of Storms because they're able to just have a retreat path. If they cleared it in mid lane, if they cleared it all the way out here, there's just more opportunities for the enemy team to literally just dive them and potentially take a fight in their favor because it seems like amateur opponents dive wombo is really working out for them. You know, just the blessed shields from E-Day have been really great. But same can be said on the opposing side. The black holes from Tassadar have just been absolutely critical. And there's been some really good web wraps from Trickshot that just mitigated, well, specifically like Chen in one or two of the fights. There was that Orphea, the web wrap as well, that was really good for them in top lane. But with Keep still in all three lanes on the side of amateur opponents, they're going to be having periodic catapult pressure against them and spawning a catapult every wave, which means their waves are a little bit faster and a little bit stronger. Joko going for the turn in here just to get 11 gems in so they don't drop those. E-Day's going to step into the bush. They're going to get hit with the Anubrak Impale. Anubrak just uses some armor real quick and they just back right out of there. DeathWeb Esports, thanks for coming by. I hope you are enjoying the stream. I also realized that my bitrate is still 3K, so I'm sorry if things are like a little artifacty. For some reason, I set it to 6K, and it just decided to start streaming at 3K, so sorry about that, everybody. Trickshot gets the turn in, but as noted, not enough on either side for a turn availability. Both teams are I wouldn't say running scared, but they're just like, they're at this point where like they don't want to, one team doesn't want to start the fight and the other, wait, hold on, this is going to be a dive immediately. Very good medallion coming out. Of Light Bomb will be there as well. They're going to find the Anubrak. Ball Lightning going to bounce from player to player as it is infinite Ball Lightning, so this will keep bouncing forever unless they split away from each other. There they go. They're going to get rid of it as they did finally split away. That's going to be a Chen who's going to pop their Gladiator's medallion and get into the Storm, Earth, and Fire. Now I also want to point out the fact that the Ball Lightning, I actually thought it was on cooldown. No, I think it was actually used immediately already. It's going to go off onto the Storm, Earth, and Fire. There's a leap from Sonya into Anduin. Gladiator's medallion onto themselves. There's a chomp from Orphea. They find the Anduin kill. That's going to be an Orphea kill as well, and they'd move in through mid lane. With the double kill 60 seconds on 2, they can easily take this keep, and I would expect them to take game. There's no way that they can't try and end right now. Nubrak is going to be not forced to use the Impale, but just going to also try and force the Joanna to stop Hearthing right there, so it does slow them down and getting some more of that health from the Hall of Storms, because the initial Hearth has a big burst of healing as Saint Terminator is going to dive on into this backline. They're going to try and stop this. Ball Lightning will spread from player to player. They didn't get the full cooldown, so 42 seconds onto that one. Nubrak going to burrow charge in onto 2. Stormwrath and Fire going out. Excuse me, no, that's just, I thought I saw Stormwrath and Fire, but I think it was just a little shield on Joanna. Either way, Cassia will get picked off, and this core is falling, but they did lose their Cassia just now. And they're going to run around this core. Tops is dealing a lot of the damage, but the thing is, no one's looking at Joko as they get a nice big shock ray, and that will be game. Number 1 over to the members of DeathWeb. GG. Well played. Never noticed the bitrate? Okay. It's nothing major. It's just I've noticed that the my stream output to all of you at 6K is just way smoother. Way smoother. What an end, though. That was a very good end. Due to a deal-breaking bug, it looks like Microsoft is going to have to buy Bethesda again from the beginning. Oh my god, sorry. We have running jokes about the Windows Store and how crappy it is, and I'm just looking at this from my friends right now. A parallel universe, Microsoft Gates XP, Bill Windows. Oh god, my friends are great. Alright, they want first pick on that team. Black Hole and a Leap. Interesting. I guess those are better in fully coordinated teams. Mm-hmm. I was saying this like yesterday. No, I don't remember when I was saying this actually. Maybe it was on Sunday with Crowan, but like Storm League, unranked draft, quick match, all of that is a completely different beast than competitive leagues. Like there's playing with 5 friends, and there's playing with 5 friends versus 5 other friends. They're playing it, yeah. So it's just like the coordination that can come out from it. Absolutely, you can get so much more value from it. What's up, Butts? I don't know what I said 20 seconds ago that made you laugh, but hey, I'm glad I made you laugh. All right, let's pull it back to Bandit and I. We should get a lobby here in just a second. Thank you all so much for joining me on this Tuesday stream. 2 more sleeps until we wake up early and try and get a 3090. 3090. Hashtag never again. See, never again what? What's up, eBagatron? How you doing, friend? Thank you for the tier 1 for 12 months, my friend, as well. Thank you for the year of support. Dear Lord, thank you for the year of support. We're just waiting on a map, and then we will get going into game number 2 here in just a second. Let me update the score. So I'm a little split brain today. It's a very busy week for us. It's the first weekend of exhibition matches for CCL, so it's a lot of chaos happening. I today asked my boss for I asked my company if I could work 4 10s so I could have Mondays off. 1, so I could see more people. 2, so I can do more things, and 3, so I can, you know, actually enjoy my weekends and stuff like that. Oh, the Microsoft thing. Thank you. I'm very dumb. I completely forgot that I was just reading that out loud anyways. Dear Lord, Slavik, thank you so much for the tier 1 for 13 months. Completely redeemed yourself. I'm sorry, I missed that. Alright. Yeah. Sorry, we had a lobby link, but then it was accidentally the wrong one. So we're just letting them know. Sorry, it's we know what the map is, and it's funny. It was a little funny. I'll explain in the lobby. Oh, so it's gonna be their map pick, and it'll be that one. Cool. I had 2 of my guys ask me the exact same thing today. If one could go Monday through Thursday and one wants to go Tuesday through Friday, 410s. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Because here's the thing, like I didn't say this to my company because it's none of their business, but like I work CCL on the weekends. Like I will be doing the casting with Crowan on Saturday and Sunday, so like it still leaves me wanting to have some sort of like personal time, and so that's part of the reason I also want to have this Monday off. But the other factor too is just there's so much more stuff that I could get done. Like I could go snowboarding on a Monday because of their stupid reservation system that they're putting out from Vail, so that way we can have like COVID safe mountain adventures and whatever. But I even said that like I was like bluntly, I would like a longer weekend so I can get more stuff done. And 2, I live in a ski town. I moved here to go skiing, and I would like to have that opportunity to get out of the house more. So that was met with no response. So we'll see. But I did get a response on a job question. So, you know, I don't know. I have this gut feeling that it's just gonna be like they won't take it to anybody. Like I have this weird gut feeling that like I'll bring it up and nothing will happen. I still haven't had my company review that you're supposed to have annually. So sometimes, sorry to bitch, but like sometimes it's just like it's just too much. And like I could work 410s. It's not like it's like proven through science and stuff that it's, you know, workers enjoy that. I don't know. Give your employees the option for that kind of stuff. I think it's really beneficial. And like worst case scenario, like if they're like, but what are you gonna do when overtime, like when we have mandatory overtime and we force you to work extra hours because we oversell jobs because we don't understand our own workflow or whatever? I would just then work Monday, a little couple hours. I think it's also because pandemic stuff too. Like people want a little bit more them time because things are wild. Things are really wild. But either way, thanks for hanging out. We'll get into game here in just a second. All the radios are flying through, so we should be ready to go for game number 2. I'm considering letting them do it once we staff up. I need to hire 4 people by end of year. Mandatory overtime? Yeah, well, welcome to construction. What is the Band-Aid doing? It's a spooky worm. It's a little spooky worm. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nexus Gaming Series Division B Southwest matchup of DeathWeb versus amateur opponents, and we find ourselves here on Braxis Holdout. The issue that we had beforehand is we accidentally had Braxis Outpost, which I learned earlier this season happened, someone else did it, and I was like, wait a minute, because the background's a little bit different. Either way, let's get into our draft and how we actually got to Braxis Holdout. The members of DeathWeb, they lost the coin flip. The enemy team opted for first pick for game number 1, banning out Battlefield and Hanamura. The members of DeathWeb banning out Towers of Doom and Volskaya. DeathWeb chose to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen for map number 1 and won that. The losing team, amateur opponents, can either choose first pick or map pick. They opted for first pick priority, so that means Braxis Holdout will be the map choice of DeathWeb. Either way, let's get back into our draft and see what's going to happen here. And we have a Chromie and... Chromie ban on the left-hand side. Do we see the Diva here? I feel like they either ban Diva or they let it through and they go up against it in solo lane. Because I feel like this is an immediate Diva if it's not banned out. Wow. Very ballsy from DeathWeb. They go up a game, they're like, we only need 1 ban. F. Eesh. Honestly, I'm all for 410s. I'm considering letting them do it once we staff. Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing, like, we've staffed up a bunch, so that's why I'm thinking I can do it. Honestly, honestly saying what you want probably is good though. Can't get it if you don't open. Exactly, Butts. Exactly. Like that was kind of where I sat with it. I was just like, well, I'll never get 410s if I never ask for it. I mean, I luckily get to work from home across the country from where my company is because I literally one day sat down with my previous boss and was like, I would like to work for you all from home when I move across the country. Crushinator, thank you so much for the raid as we literally are rambling about absolutely nothing. Dark, how you doing, friend? Good to see you. Either way, my whole thing at the end of the day is I really hope that they actually consider it and they don't just take it and they're like, cool, whatever. Which is what I feel like will happen either way. Rexar, Joanna on the left-hand side, Tassadar already on the right. No priority for the Diva, which is very surprising. On a map like this, I feel like you can bully so very well on these control points. The mech explosion's massive. Oh, I don't know. They're talking about like what happens when they miss the ban. I think it's just you miss the ban. Stukov will be grabbed here, and they're actually going to go for Mace, so they're going to go for point control. No ETC. I think they're going to look for the slows and set up for potential Tassadar value. I like the May. You have a lot of good opportunities with her. Hey, Crushinator, what's up, bud? Thank you again for the raid. Are you in construction, commercial buildings? I do construction. I do ornamental metal and fabrication and stuff like that. So thin gauge metal. Typically handrails, guardrails, fencing, and filigree and stuff like that. If it's metal, we make it. Came here for a great series. Oh, thank you for coming with or without balls. I find it amusing that there's someone named Butts in chat, but again, wasn't Butts part of the conversation? Yeah. I'm glad that someone named Butts has come to my chat too. I'm very, it's very fitting for our stream. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back into our draft here as we are seeing our ban phase coming through. They ban out the Ariel, which is a little confusing. It might have been a panic ban, I'm thinking, because at least from what I'm seeing. But yeah, they ban out an Ariel into an enemy team that already has the Stukov, so might have just been a panic ban. Regardless, this will be a Zeratul ban on the right-hand side. They don't want to deal with their dive, burst, and setup potential with the VP. What do we get here to round things out for this half of the draft? Form. Gramian and Anduin, okay. So they have some dive. They're still missing a lot of burst potential on their left-hand side. They still need wave clear for the members of DeathWeb. I think a Jaina would be really, really great for their composition. They could go into a Li Ming. Her wave clear would be a little bit on the lacking side, but the reset potential would be massive on a point control-based area. Actually, Mephisto wouldn't be a bad pickup either. Dives well with the Grey Mane, but they're going to go Chen once again and pick up a Rainer to round things out. Not a bad not a bad pickup from the members of amateur opponents. Just a strong core draft, and that Chen seems to be a staple for the solo lane. Filigree, yeah. One time I did some giant metal frame type thing. I don't know. I remember my boss sent me the project. I was like, this is the project? He's like, just do it, dude. They're paying us money for it. So we okay, I like the Kel'Thuzad. Okay, because I like some sort of, not so much combo mage, but Kel'Thuzad combo mage where he's just he's got a lot of CC within his kit. I think this is actually a pretty strong pickup for them. I like the Li Ming, I like the Jaina, but the Kel'Thuzad can work as well. This can be a strong mage. We'll see what happens here. I don't get to see many Kel'Thuzad, so I'm always a little maybe it could probably work out. But well, that'll be our draft right there. Jenny boy, the bruiser calling, yeah. But either way, yeah, no, it was just a framework, and then we bought a bunch of pre-made scroll stuff, and we just welded that to the inside. And then they broke it and they blamed us, which is hilarious. Is there a giant metal statue of Bandit anywhere? No, my company doesn't like Bandit because they're not nice people. No. I always used to tell the owner of the company, I was just like, you guys are the worst company I've worked for. You don't like dogs. And he's like, what do you mean? I was just like, I ask every single company meeting if we can have a Friday dog day, and he's just like, all right, dude, stop. Because Joe's actually cool. He was telling me how he got banned from World of Warcraft for gold mining and stuff like that. Anyway, let's get into game. Let's not talk about my job anymore. Tops is going to be on this Rexar for the members of DeathWeb. We've got Trickshot on the Joanna. Mafia will be on the Anduin. Joko is on the Greymane, and Moflin I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the Kel'Thuzad player for murdering your name, but that'll be the members of DeathWeb. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Amateur Opponents trying to take us to a game number 3. Terminator will be on the Chen. We've got Sonic's Bro on that Rainer. Butte Holiday will be on the Stukov. E-Day will be on the May, and we have got Cactus Ham on the Tacita. That was a weird one. Reactive Ballista Spores. This makes sense with the Kel'Thuzad burst potential, just to automatically get that out there if they are one of those players getting caught by that. I hope we see a Wandering Keg, but I think this is just gonna be another Storm Earth and Fire game. Dog days every day, yeah. Kaleo, please. Thank you. My freedom will come when I twist Workhorse's arm so much that he just hires me to do Blizzard hero stuff for them. That's my goal. I'll just keep trying to do good stuff for CCL, and maybe I can get that sweet wisdom game pickup. Top's actually taking a lot of damage here into Terminator. Will go down. First blood in favor for the members of our red team, as Amateur Opponents will have a little bit of control here in the beginning. And this also will mean that Chen could potentially get initial control for that first top. We do have the first top point. They still have to rotate all the way from their Hall of Storms, and it's only 8 seconds. So, actually, no, Joanna coming up here just to stall things out and also make Chen's life a living hell. I bet if I asked Workhorse if I could bring Bandit to work every day, he'd be like, "Hell yeah! Why are you even asking me? Why isn't he here now?" Either way, we have our absolute. I'm really excited to see this matchup right here, because the thing is, like, the scaling into each other is going to be a very, very fun thing to watch. Dear Lord, are we serious? Terminator with the aggression into tops right now. Maybe this is just a matchup they do more often than we see, but like, I was not expecting Rexar to get pushed back this much. Like, that's why I was giggling, because I was expecting it to be more of a back and forth, but this is just Chen being oppressive into this Rexar and forcing them off. They're going to continue to hold top point, as Butte's going to continue to get this bottom lane, and that will be Zerg channel in favor for the members of our red team. Amateur Opponents still holding this top lane, and Tops is struggling right now. This Rexar trying to keep the Misha alive. They themselves are low. Once they get into level 13, they can go into that auto attack based talent, where once they throw out the Bird of Prey, I believe it is? Yeah, no, excuse me, Spirit Swoop. Once they throw out the Spirit Swoop, they can get increased auto attack damage, and as long as Misha's autoing into that same hero, they can continue to buff out that auto attack speed or that duration. And that 1v1 moment can really swap over for that Rexar player, but I think at this point, that's just going to be a long wait until that potential 13 talent tier. Right now, Misha's actually going to get kicked off by the oppression of Terminator, who Tops needs to be careful here, because if Chen kicks out into Tops in this front gate and body blocks them from getting back through, this Zerg wave will destroy them. They're actually going to dive over. They're going to go ahead and use their stagger. They're going to get one more auto, and that will be the Rexar going down. Kel'Thuzad is going to come up here, but the kick over the wall will get them away, and they actually had the friendly team already coming up. May's going to be able to solidify the kill right there, and that's a double kill, while Zerg wave's coming through top, and that's Joko. So very low. Rainer with the sustained damage will kill them as well, and that's a triple kill for the members of Amateur Opponents, with a massive Zerg wave in top lane. Is pushed back quite a bit. They did lose one of the Ultralisks already. They still have their 3 Guardians and a decent Hydralisk wave inside there as well. This will be the easy fort for top lane, which getting a full fort during a Zerg wave isn't uncommon, but it's not super common. Like, I'd say it's kind of maybe like in the 10 to 20% of the time, like we see that happen. It's like Battlefield of Eternity. It's not super often you see like a full front gate fort going down from a Zerg wave. This is May coming in here and finding some burst damage into this Joanna. They're going to go down, and these Guardians siege up a little bit further as the chains come out from Kel'Thuzad, who is at 20 stacks already on their Master of the Cold Dark. We did see a Gladiator's Medallion being used onto Sonic's Bros. They still have a Guardian in this lane. There's going to be an icing from E-Day to try and jump onto Joko. There's a whole bunch of damage into them, but they're able to sidestep a lot of that. May will go down to the Nexus forces, and they've overstayed their welcome in bottom lane. Excuse me, in top lane. Tops, though, in this bottom. Like, this is... Wow. Such Chen plays for real. He tried to bait him over the wall. It worked. Oh my god, Kaleo, you're the best. Thank you for adding that command. That's a good one. I think those Misha charges need to be a little nuanced. What do you mean? What kind of? I like how we have kill and hug in our chat. Yeah. They need to finish winning before Kel'Thuzad comes online. That kind of, yeah, that's exactly how I'm looking at the Zul rules. Like and also shutting down Kel'Thuzad in those moments are massive for them. They're gonna steal away this camp. They'll have some pressure into bottom lane. They've got their own camp into top lane. I think their camp will get cleared out, but they do have periodic catapult pressure not actually available right now. Kel'Thuzad down for the next 5 seconds. They're going to step in. That's going to be a Misha charge onto one. They're looking to try and get this Tassadar as they drop the force while May's going to icing around, and the leap of faith will be a second too late. Misha Bear goes down as well. A double kill technically for the members of our red team. Let's go back to Bandit 9 and figure out what's happening over here. Looks like we might have a layer that's DC'd for a second. Oh boy, Chen is just waiting for the charge, then kicking in and getting a bunch of damage and stun. Oh, that makes sense, Crushinator. I'd like to see Rexar holding the charge for Peel. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you for explaining that. All right, looks like the players might be ready. Let's get back in the game. Look at that, look at that, look at that quality admin work right there. We're gonna have this healing wave coming out from Anduin, though. Trick Shot's gonna get bopped back by the icing from Ide, who's gonna be taking shots. No, actually, Cactus Sam's taking shots. And they managed to stagger out of Death and Joanna just as Greymane comes back. As I said beforehand, the camp in top lane will clear out the enemy side camp, but here's the periodic catapult pressure coming through that should knock down that camp, or at least the Reaver minion that's left over from that camp. Chen gonna be coming up here to push things back and also get in position for the beacon phase. I'm just looking around the minimap to see what we have here. And you know what? We didn't get to look at the full numbers for everything, so let's go ahead and actually redo that cycle, because 10 talent tiers coming through in a second, and I'm sure you all want to see some of these other numbers, as we might have missed them during the actual pause for a moment we had. Seems like Chen's fine. Terminator, though, is going to back off. I'd also like to see Rexar soak at the gate instead of leaving the body open to dives. That's a good point too. Yeah. I think the Rexar body is too forward with the Misha not being microed further far out. Because the range on the Misha is pretty far. Like it's like half the lane from the gate, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a little bit further. Camp to be cleared out in bottom. Chen already on top lane. Rest of the friendly team is in bottom, and they're going to be able to have this initial channel. Joanna coming in with the Condemn is going to be able to set them up. There's going to be a Frost Nova from the Kel'Thuzad, which means he also finishes out the not Fingers of Frost, the Master of the Cold Dark stack, so that's going to be 75% spell power increase. Trick Shot will jump onto this point and hold this over for now. Chen coming down here with their 10 talent tiers. We are going to be seeing Stormwrath and Fire, so no Wandering Keg values, so no Chen Ws, no Keg Ws. You can still spam if you want. Chen holds bottom lane. Rexar to jump into top, and Misha will stall things out. They get a couple percent, but now 50% of the way through, they're backing off of this. They do not want to try and have this fight, and I think Rexar knows the same thing in top lane. They just have to safely soak for that 10 talent tier. Well, this is actually Trick Shot stepped into this. That was very risky. There's going to be chains, everything coming out from our Kel'Thuzad, but they're not going to be able to find a single target burst, or at least a lockdown onto one. May uses the Cryo Freeze to try and stay alive. Hyperion coming out from the Raynor. There's going to be the root, and they get the May kill, which will push them into 10 talent tier. Raynor with the sustained damage will be there, but it's not enough to find a kill. Greymane with a Curse Bullet into Sonic's Bro will get healed up by the Stukov. Going to spread that Pushel around. Zerg Wave in favor of the enemy team. We'll have an Ultralisk and a couple Lings into top. This will be the bottom lane, though, 100% Zerg Wave. 3 Ultralisks, 3 Guardians, the Banelings, the whole shebang coming through bottom lane. And they're going to attempt to go for this fort, and they should be able to get that without problem. Chain's going to connect onto this Tassadar. Root's going to be there. No Shadow Fissure used because it's, well, no Heroic's been taken for the Kel'Thuzad at level 10. They're still holding for some reason. I don't think they're going to go Frost Nova or Nova Blast. I can't remember the actual giant AoE circle ball that he throws because it's very rarely picked up. Shadowfish is just so powerful. The Misha charge through onto the Raynor Sonics Bro is going to be still being healed up as they also pop their own healing. Light Bomb comes out from the Anduin. Rexar goes down to the Tassadar damage. Meanwhile, Terminator gets a kick into the Joanna face, and that's Rexar and Joanna going down. Guardian still healthy in this bottom lane as they'll siege in with the rest of the friendly team. This is going very well for the members of amateur opponents here as they're going to pressure in onto this keep itself. Can the members of DeathWing, oh my, DeathWeb, there we go, be able to force back the enemy team here, or if this is going to be going to a game number 3. Everyone is back up, but they are down a talent here. If they can make something happen, if they can get a charge onto E-Day, that'd be huge. That's going to be a spike coming out from the Rexar, from the Kel'Thuzad. They try and find the Glacial Spike and won't connect onto anyone with the chains. Tassadar are going to throw a Shockwave back, Avalanche connecting onto 2 to knock them away, and E-Day will be able to back out of this without any problem. They need to be, they need to be very, very cautious stepping in like that. That was like, I was about to say, May, you might have forfeited some experience if you double backed into that one. Frost Blast, thank you. Kel'Thuzad still holding 10. Why? Yeah, Butt Blast. Butt Spot? If only you named the heroes of the Storm Talents. Losing 11v9? Frost Nova and Nova Blast was so close. There's so many talents and stuff in this game that it's if it was my full-time job, I would know them, but I gotta draw lines for a living to get that puppy food. Frost Blast will be the actual pickup for Kel'Thuzad, so it is going to be the giant AoE Nova Bomb setup, but what's their follow-up? Because, like, it's not like... I guess the follow-up is literally just Kel'Thuzad trying to throw the damage out, but... It's like there's a lot of setup heroic damage, or like setup heroic, and there's one heroic with big damage, and that depends on how much health the actual player has at the moment. Let's get some vision for our blue team. They're gonna push into the top lane. I'm just trying to jump around to see what they're seeing on both sides, at least on the mini map. So they're just trying to force this bottom lane, and they're gonna get it. Yeah, there's gonna be Greymane sieging through the fort. They'll lose some armor, lose a bit of health, but they'll be able to hearth out of this with the Eyes in the Dark rolled away right there. But Keep should go down in bottom lane. Hyperion's gonna be here. There's gonna be the chains coming out from Kel'Thuzad, gonna be connecting onto Stukov's medallion used right there. They're gonna be getting hit with a lot of damage over time from the Death and Decay. Avalanche from the May is gonna save them. Cactus Ham very low here, also slowed, but as I said, there's a lot of setup. Where's the damage? Where's the beef? As they're gonna be able to find a Chen. No, they won't. Stormwrath and Fire is gonna come out, but keep in mind, when Chen goes back into their full form, they're going to be... Oh, wait, hold on. This should be Chen getting out of here just fine. I think they always dump back into... Oh, it's usually the blue one. Yeah, that was... Oh, my God. I can't believe Chen got away with that. Objective phase is going to be up and available. Top lane's pushing in. Raynor holds top lane for now. They get 4%, and they're going to be forced off as they need to go clear their lanes. 13 talent here will be on both sides. This is... Does DeathWeb take the game and 2-0 this, or are we actually going to be seeing a game 3? I, honest to God, don't really know. They're going to just find so much into May. Holy crap, the dive blow-up right there was insane. That's going to be Chen, also no Stormwrath and Fire for the next 70-some seconds. They're going to get picked off. Misha goes down, but this will be Zerg Wave being channeled in favor for the members of our blue team. DeathWeb looking a little more alive in the later half of the game. Oh, hey, Stark. Thank you for the raid. Thank you. Thank you, Ash Mantle, for shouting out Stark. Very much appreciated, my friend. Experiment failed, but you learned. Oh, what was the experiment today? Was it Cho'Gall Juice Pirates? Did you just go like Cho'Gall, Lieutenant Morales, Tyrael, Greymane? Oh my god. Kaleo, these commands, thank you so much, my friend. Boss and Zergwave through bottom lane, and this actually works out really well for them due to the fact that they got rid of the fort in top lane. At least from my understanding, the boss mechanic will always prioritize the more well-defended lanes, so that'll be bottom, so it actually works out really well with the Zergwave on top of that, and they're now going to be opening this up quite a bit. Chains coming out from Kel'Thuzad, a lot of damage in onto Mei, who's going to try and work their way out of here with that icing. Won't be able to, as that's a light bomb onto Trickshot. Frost Nova in, and it doesn't even connect. There's a Leap of Fate to pull Trickshot back for a second, while the Zergwave and boss will take down Keep, and amateur opponents losing their footing immediately in this game with one single Zergwave 14 minutes in. This is going to be DeathWeb, dear lord, stepping in through bottom lane, looking to potentially take game. There's going to be Terminator jumping to the back line. Storm Earth and Fire could be utilized here, but it's going to be interrupted by the chains from Kel'Thuzad. 10-second cooldown onto that. The core is trying to defend against the gray main. Joko taking a lot of damage. Acorn form coming out from this Tassadar, but the damage is too much, and that will be first series of the evening going over to the members of DeathWeb 2-0. GG.